Hey.
Oh man, it says recording. I think I'll sign off now.
Welcome to episode 90 of the Concealed Taco Dudes podcast.
Yay.
Yeehaw! Yeah. So,
who'd ever thought we'd make it to episode 90?
Yeah.
True.
We're going to have to do something fun for 100. Do some cool giveaway or something.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a whole list of things my wife wants me to give away.
Nice. We'll have a really good giveaway.
Yep.
Are you saying that one new revolver you got, that Kimber and the Colt?
No, I think a more suitable giveaway might be that.
Carcano?
I really am thinking of that bench-made knife and the Carcano.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So something nice and something a little less nice.
Something
Exactly.
something nice and something interesting.
So what's
Well,
worth
we need
more?
to have it laser engraved on both of them, maybe with the Concealed Taco Dudes logo.
Oh, that'd be cool. So the question is, which is worth more, the knife or the gun?
The knife is worth 4 or 5 times more than the rifle.
Nice.
And we won't laser engrave it because that would ruin its collector value.
Which one, the gun or the knife?
The knife, both probably.
We'll engrave like a World War II surplus rifle, but not the knife.
Yep.
Okay, so
Cool.
let's hit some sponsors before we move into anything else.
Let's do it. What's the latest over at NOE? Anything?
So I talked with Al maybe today or yesterday, but he was saying, because of that sign he put on the outside of the building, he said he's had people walk in and be like, "What's that Concealed Taco Dudes thing?"
for
People
those
are
who don't
demonstrating
know,
outside the office now.
there is a rather large sign of Paco the Taco Dude on the side of the NOE building, and it is awesome.
It is awesome.
That's
so yeah,
funny.
there's signage outside of the studio.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyways, I noticed that Al had run some 45s, 45 molds. So he did the one that's patterned after the old H&G 34. It's a 230 grain round nose, and then pretty much the same mold, but with the lube groove cut out. And that one is like a 234 grain. Basically,
Is it like
you use the same.
458 diameters, or what?
No,
What are they?
The 452, but it might be like 452, 3, 4.
So it's not going to be for your 45 ACP. It'll be for.
It is for the 45 ACP.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So usually, like on say, you could use it on like a 45 Colt revolver, not the lever action, but yeah. So 45 ACP is a 451 bullet, and so if you cast. Right. Yeah, if you cast, then it would be a 452, a 453, depending on, or a 454 if you have like, the bore that's a little oversized.
Well, I had a brain cramp there, and I forgot between 45 ACP and like 4570. So very cool. That's neat.
So he just ran those. So those are in stock right now. And I know those kind of molds always sell out fast. The 45s, the 40s, and the 9s. So get those while you can and use coupon code FLT001 and it will save you 10%.
Awesome.
Isn't that your license plate number?
No.
It's just
it might be close, but we're not going to say that on
right.
air.
Okay.
But we also have Utah Air Guns.
Yes.
And use coupon code Air Candy.
Yep.
And that will save you. Well, it'll give you
free shipping,
and it will also give you free turret stickers.
Yep.
If you call up and buy the cheapest thing, it'll be cheaper than getting turret stickers if you just order them, right?
I guess so.
It could be.
Yeah.
So if you need some turret stickers, just call up and order something cheap.
Just get like an O-ring or something.
Right.
Yeah. So I went in today and talked with Travis over there.
Yeah.
And we got my little Hudson Flash, the one with the woodstock and chambered in 177. We got that kind of all fixed up with the new rings. I had mounted some cheapy rings with a cheapy scope, and it was too low for the magazine, so I had installed the little single shot tray.
Right.
And
that sucked.
It kind of does. I mean, when you have, say, like the other single action one or single shot one I have, where it breaks open, then it's easy to put that pellet in. But if you're trying to fit it between scope rings and get it in that little tray and it flips over backwards, and you're like, shake it out.
It's like playing that kids game Operation.
Yeah, and then also, since it's a 177, then it's even tinier, so it makes it a little more difficult. So we got that all set up. And
did you put a new scope on it or just new rings?
I did. It wasn't new. It was one that I had.
Right.
It was a Bushnell trophy scope. It's like 6-24, but the glass is like way clearer than that cheap Chinese scope I had on there.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. I like it. So
remember when Travis was Jason's friend and you like barely knew him?
Yeah. Now Travis knows me better.
Yeah, I did. Now he's your friend.
Whatever.
Yeah, he texted me when the pellets were in stock. He didn't text Jason.
Whatever.
Yeah. So anyways, UtahAirguns.com. They have the coolest selection of air guns, high-end air guns. And, like the one I just picked up, that one's a little bit cheaper and it's still pretty dang awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's around the $400 range.
Does it count to your total?
It does. I'm still one over, so I need to sell something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or you could just give it away.
You could.
Episode 100 giveaway.
That would be way easier and more convenient than trying to sell something.
And you'd have 10 weeks to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I might have something else that we could give away during that. I don't know. We'll have a big episode 100 giveaway.
Yeah.
But, anyways. Yeah. So Utah Air Guns, they're awesome.
Yep. Check them out. Black Ice Coatings at blackicecoatings.com. They do everything gun finish wise.
Yeah.
Teflon coating, hydro dipping, Cerakoting, probably some stuff we don't even know about.
Probably. Yeah.
give Lee a heads up that we're going to have 500 spring clips to be Teflon coated this week. So hopefully he listens to the podcast.
So if he's got something of yours and it's taking him a long time to get it done, it's Mark's fault.
You're right.
Nice. Yeah, check out Black Ice Coatings on Instagram, Facebook, as well as the other guys. And
I still need to head down there and drop off that Beretta 1951.
Yeah.
We don't know what it actually gets you, but if you say slickery, you get something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just extra nice to you.
I need to get down there. I've got a holster done for one of his daughters. I've had it for, I think it's 3 weeks now that it's been finished. I just haven't had time to get down there with it.
You should drop it off to me. I'll drive down there.
Okay.
Yeah, remember when Lee was your friend, Jason?
Yeah.
I'm sure Lee sees Jason more than he does me, but
maybe.
I need to take some stuff down and get it coated. I have this 9mm bolt action. I kind of want to get the bolt coated with Teflon.
That would be nice.
Yeah, make that really slicked up and really nice.
Yeah. So. Cool. Let's what's happening at Magholder, Mark, other than you're getting a bunch of spring clips coated?
Well, we ran ourselves into back order because, people honestly are really liking the 365 and the Hellcat.
Yeah.
So they're the same exact configuration. So we'll have those back in stock this week. Huh. Everything else is just going great. Magholder Mama is doing a great job, and she's got inventory. There's been several days when we've had a bunch of orders come in, and she's already got the inventory ready to go out. So pre-built and everything. So
nice.
Yeah, business is doing well. We really love all of our customers. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Cool. Concealment Solutions, concealmentsolutions.com. One thing I have neglected to focus on or point out is our class that we're doing with Bob Main from the Handgun World show on June 12th, Beyond Concealed Carry class. Concealment Solutions is hosting that out here in Utah. But I'm getting a link set up on my website that will take you to his so that you can register for it. But until that's done, you can just go to, I think it's just handgunworld.com.
Yep, it is.
And you can register for that class. It's $170 for the class. It's an 8-hour class, 1 day, 8 hours, about 250 rounds. So not crazy on the amount of ammo that you'll need for it, but it takes you through some of the basic things that you don't get from a concealed carry class, but it goes far beyond that as well and gets into some more advanced techniques and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. If you have any questions, hit up Bob and ask him.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question.
Okay.
So is there a cap on
how many
people can attend?
Yeah, I think we're going to cap it to about 20.
Okay. It'd be cool to have like an update of how many slots are left or something like that.
There's a lot left right now.
There's 20 left?
No. No, I think there's 1 or 2 that have registered already. But yeah, don't wait till the last minute. Get registered. And it will be at a private range that is super sweet out here in Utah County.
Very cool.
Yeah, and you get to meet Jason, and
yeah,
I'm going to try and make it too. So
yeah, Mark, you're welcome to be there.
Awesome. I'm going to get on the website and sign up.
Oh, cool. Even better.
Yep. Yeah.
But
I have a question about some classes that we've taken have kind of a minimum requirement for proficiency or whatever.
Right.
Is this very basic pistol, or is it slightly advanced, or what? Is there a minimum requirement?
There is not a minimum requirement that I am aware of. That would be a good question for Bob. But I know that they do get into more advanced stuff than just like your basic handgun course, NRA course. They get in more than that.
That is a level of knowledge that there's a real need for. That's the steep part of the learning curve.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, the classes that I've taken, I don't think I've ever taken a class that was less than $300 or $400.
True.
So $170 is a huge value. You're going to get some good information, and you get to hang out with us. That's worth $170 by itself.
Big time.
So anyway, jump on his website, take a look, and that is something you could take advantage of. Do it. It's going to be a good time.
We are in Utah. We are beyond the point of mask mandates officially.
Yes.
So traveling to Utah is not going to be difficult, and I think you'll be good to go out at the range.
Yeah. And I think I've convinced Bob to come out a day or two early so I can entertain him with take him out to the Browning Museum in Ogden and
cool.
some places like that. So if there's others, if you sign up for the class and you want to come hang out the day before, maybe we can get a little group together and go to the museum and go to lunch and stuff like that. Might be
That'd be fun. Can we take over a fast food restaurant with a bunch of open carriers like we did
with Mag 40?
Yeah,
that was great. Yeah, that would be fun. Anyway, Concealment Solutions, if you use the code SHOWMETHECANDY, you'll save a significant amount off your order. It makes me cringe sometimes. People place like a huge order, and I'm like, dang, they got a free holster.
That's awesome.
So anyway, check it out. Let's move on. I think you got some listener feedback for us, Taco.
Yes, we just have 2. And this one is from Zach from Montana. And he writes in and says, I am the happy new owner of an 1898 Krag rifle.
Cool.
It is a very late serial number with 30 of the highest serial numbers known to exist.
Wow.
I purchased it for a fair price, and it is unfortunately a cut down rifle.
Oh, that's too bad.
He says it is made to appear like a school short rifle with a 22-inch barrel and a rifle stock cut down to fix a bayonet at the right length.
Oh.
It is a very good conversion, and the only piece incorrect is the front sight. I very much like the looks of the short rifle and the handiness of it, but for some reason I feel bad about the modified configuration. Should I restore it to factory rifle configuration, including a new barrel and stock? Or should I just add the correct front sight and feel good about my school short rifle copy? Also,
you should mortgage your house and send it to Turnbull. That would be an amazing thing.
And he says, also, if Taco has any NOE mold recommendations that he likes shooting in his crag, I would love to see a video or hear about it on the podcast. Thank you for the great podcast, and I look forward to it every week. So I actually do have mine was a sporterized crag rifle, and just for making some kind of plinking ammo, I used 2 of the NOE blackout molds. One of them was the 247 grain, but with the hollow point, and I cast some with the hollow point, and the others were with the taco bullet. So, and I do have a video on it, and you can check that out on my channel. And
what's the video called? Do you remember?
I don't know. Just search Crag on
There you go.
my channel.
KRAG.
Yeah, KRAG.
So
Those are cool rifles, though. They have like a gate on the right side, and you open the gate, and you just kind of like loosely put in 5 rounds of the Crag ammo, and then you close the gate, and it puts enough like tension on it. There's like a little spring thing that curls around, and then it feeds in from the left side.
You sound like a Democrat trying to explain a gun.
I know,
a springy thing that goes down.
The shoulder thing that goes up.
Right?
But yeah, it's funny because you feed it from the right, and then it curls around, and then feeds it to the chamber from the left side. So
Kind of like your PS90.
yeah,
Cool.
it's not, yeah. Well, I don't know. PS90 is rotates
PS90
those.
goes from the top.
It does.
Yeah,
from the top, but it rotates them every time.
Yeah. So back to his question: should he restore it? Leave it the way it is? What do you guys think?
I think he should leave it the way it is if he likes it. If it bugs him, he should restore it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Are you going to break even financially if you were to attempt to restore something like that, or would it just be a big money sink?
It would be a money sink, but if it was something you really were happy with. I mean, just having it in the original condition will raise the price on it significantly, though.
Yeah.
So the value, I guess.
And over time, that value is just going to increase.
Mm-hmm. So it all depends. I kind of like because you're going to shoot it a bunch, and if you like it the way it is, I would just keep it. But and if it bugs you a lot, then restore it.
Maybe we could do that with the Carcano.
Restore it to goodness, even though it's they're not the best feeling rifles as far as like the actions. It's not really smooth, and the Crags are some of the smoothest bolt actions that I've ever used. So just to throw that out there. But cool. Okay, we also have another one, and this was from Kevin C. And he says, another good episode. Keep up the good work. A few things. A python in a cobra. Can you mix venomous with constrictor snakes?
That is a great question.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So he says, holding someone at gunpoint. This is talking about the last episode.
Right.
And he says, do you back off 21 feet? You don't want to be close enough for them to get the jump on you. And he says, thanks to Officer Kevin for joining on the last one. And
I think if you're holding them at gunpoint, you've already got the jump on them.
Yeah.
Well, if you are at low ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a good question, though.
It is. I would say, like, some of those stories, I'd put them like in a prone position or something, get them on the ground to where they aren't going to be quick at anything.
Yeah. Tell them if they move, then
so they don't sweep the leg.
Yeah. Sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg. Yeah. So that is a good question, though. You don't want to be real close.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And it depends on your situation. I mean, inside your home, you might not have 21 feet, depending on where you are. But
like we were talking about, this is assuming that you're at the low ready, so it would be less than, you could be closer than 21 feet. Right. You're not drawing.
You're not drawing and then firing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Should we jump into what we did with guns?
Yes.
Who wants to start?
I
Mark?
do.
Go for it.
Yeah. So I mention that we got Kimber to successfully offer a full length combat grip for their revolver. So
You did mention that, I believe, and you've got
So
one
I
on
get-
its way, right?
yeah, it's actually on its way. It should be delivered tomorrow. So I'm
Awesome.
really stoked about that. Also, this last week, I took my 357 lever gun along with my 357 revolver and did a big road trip. We did 1,400 miles in 3 days,
Wow.
which was a lot, doing actual day work stuff. It would just felt great to be, out across the plains of Wyoming with a lever gun and a revolver.
Yeah.
It just felt awesome. We
Yeah.
went past also with the 1895 in the car. We went past Little Bighorn. So I don't think historically that makes a lot of sense, though. But I mean, 4570 was around, but I think most of the ammo expended at that battle, I think, was probably 45 Colt. At Custer's last stand, what do you think most of the ammo that was expended was?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm not super great on history. That was like my worst topic in school, history. I could not remember names and dates. Now, if they would have had like guns and cartridges and battles, maybe I'd have remembered it a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, you just gave us a dissertation on the 3040 Krag. So, but
well, there's your homework, Mark, for the
Yep.
next episode.
I'll look it up. But it was really cool with a car full of lever guns and revolvers to drive around the historic West. So that's what I did last week.
Cool. I guess I'll go. I had an upper delivered to me this week. It's a 10.5-inch 300 blackout upper with a side charge, which I'm kind of excited about. Just ordered the rest of the stuff that I need to finish that build, and who knows, maybe next week I'll have that together.
What brand was it? Where'd you get it from?
It's going to be
Bear
loud,
Creek.
huh?
It's from Bear Creek Arsenal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So the side charger is one of the ones with the reciprocating handles.
It is. Yeah. So my AR that I currently have and use for myself is a side charge upper, which I really prefer on the ARs. They just feel more natural to me. But it's a left-handed, so the charge handle's on the right, but it's a Gibbs upper, so it's a non-reciprocating upper, which is really nice.
I was going to say, just don't lose that handle and then be stuck,
Yeah. No worries. So I did that, not gun related, but we did spend a few days camping last week. And I used I don't know if I've even mentioned this before, but I got a product called a firebox stove. So it's a stove that you burn small pieces of wood in. And one night while we were camping, I cooked shrimp tacos in a full-size cast iron pan on that little tiny wood burning stove, and it got that pan hot fast. It worked really, really well. So
did you take your taco tenders with you?
I did not. I should have, because
They're very light.
We were down there with some friends, and they would have been thoroughly impressed with the taco tenders. But I did
red,
neglect
white, blue, and black.
Yeah, I did neglect to bring those. But other than that, I've been looking for a lightweight, compact sleeping bag or sleep system or something that I can use bike packing and use for preparedness and just regular camping and stuff. And this week I finally pulled the trigger on a quilt. Now, it's not a regular quilt. It's a camping quilt that you use instead of a sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen those. It's from Enlightened Equipment. And the one that I got, the foot box has like a 15-inch long zipper, so you can zip the foot closed and the rest of it stays open, but it's got these like bungees that go around your sleeping pad and connect underneath it. But this thing is rated to 10 degrees and it weighs just barely over 1.5 pounds. And it packs down super tiny. So I'm anxious to test that out.
Now, that 10 degrees is not going to be like
Oh, I know.
I wouldn't go out there in the wintertime and use that.
No, absolutely not.
That's like
But
a survival rating or something.
I have a tendency, especially on our bike packing trips, to kind of sleep cold. And I've had some miserable nights with bags that were not sufficient. And so I've literally been searching. I've just bought 2 other 20-degree down bags, Kelties, that we used over the week, and those turned out pretty good. I'm actually gonna give one to my son. I owe him, because on one of our bike packing trips where I was freezing, I made him switch sleeping bags with me.
Wow.
Oh man. Oh.
He fared better than I would have, but I still felt guilty. So I'm like, dude, it's his birthday in a couple weeks, so I'm giving him a new sleeping bag.
Is that your younger son?
No, that's my oldest son.
Your oldest son.
Yeah. I would not have done that to my little guy. That would have been
Well, that's what I was thinking you were doing. You're like, I stole the warm sleeping bag from my little boy.
He's
because he didn't put up as much fight as the other side.
He's married, has a kid. He could handle it, and he did all right. But he did say he got cold at night. But yeah. So anyway, the cool thing about that quilt is I can also use it in conjunction with another sleeping bag if temperatures got really out of control or whatever. So it just gives me more options.
Yeah, you could also use it probably as an underquilt for your
in a hammock,
like if you're doing a hammock.
Yeah, for sure.
So I bought last year the Kamek brand trail quilt, and
it's Kamek.
Kamek, yeah.
Huh, I don't know that brand.
It's like KAMMOK or something like that.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, and
how is it?
I used it as an underquilt, and we did a fall camp last year, and it kept me warm in the hammock.
Nice.
I was surprised. Like,
did you have a sleeping bag in the hammock with you, or just that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was on the underside of it. Yeah.
That's what wrapped around your hammock.
And it also has the little bungees and the ability to turn into like a sleeping bag.
Is it down or synthetic?
It's down.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it costs more than,
Yeah. Well, this
anything
one
down costs a lot of money, and if it's a name brand and down, yeah.
Well, and this one, do you know what the fill quality is on the down?
I can't remember.
So like the sleeping bags I bought I think they're 600 fill, and they're the dry down, so they've been treated, so even if they get wet, they'll still insulate. This one, the quilt I bought, is 850 fill, which you can go to 950, and it gets just ludicrously light and warm. But this quilt was about $325.
You're warmer than the geese that gave their all for this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the quilt I bought was pretty close in price, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a discount on it, so that was awesome.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I did with and without guns this week.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. What does that have to do with guns?
Nothing.
It has
to do with prepping.
Got it.
Yeah. So my emergency preparedness, prepping, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just barely finished working on a very large chicken coop.
Nice.
And for those 8 chickens that we got. So that will be nice when we start getting eggs. What, in the fall? Is that when they start producing?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So
be optimistic. If you feed them a lot and get them all happy and comfy, they'll jump in there pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping for some nice fresh eggs soon. Otherwise, we'll have fresh chicken. But yeah, so we did that, and I did do went shooting and did a video on that 9mm bolt action rifle. And so that you can find that on my channel. It's a pretty cool little rifle, and shooting it, we shot it with unsuppressed and then also suppressed with Evan's new silencer. And he had it's like the Black Hawk equivalent of the Octane 45 HD that's made by Silencer Co. And I think that one was called the Smokestack. So the parts are interchangeable between the two. So he was able to, he couldn't find the adapters anywhere. And so since I had some, then we used the ones that I had. So it was kind of cool.
Cool.
And then I went to Utah Air Guns and, you know, got some rings and mounted my scope and I sighted in that little 177 air gun again. So
Nice.
I think I'm pretty set now for a group shoot of, you know, going on a squirrel hunt or like you know, a little varmint hunt. So I'm looking forward to doing that this spring.
Cool.
Have you gassed any pellets yet?
I have, and I've killed stuff with those pellets. So they work.
Great.
But I just did the 22 cal. Actually, I did some 30 cal pellets when I had the Hudson Blitz full auto. But it's kind of, I don't know, when you're blasting through them at a full auto speed or rate, then the time it takes to cast them and to make a lot of them, you're like, I'm going to turn this on semi-auto instead of full auto. But, yeah. So anyways, I did that. I did some loading and I got a new gas block. It's what was it? I forget the brand of it, but I'm building an AR-10, another one, and it's going to be a 20-inch barrel 308. And I wanted the adjustable gas block to be able to switch, you know, gas settings on the fly, you know, for using it suppressed and unsuppressed. So
is it going to be an accuracy minded thing or a what is your goal for this rifle?
I don't know. I just wanted to do it. I like building them.
Cool.
But I found, I guess the main reason was because I found the barrel and a BCG on sale for cheap. And so I bought it and then I'm like, well, I might as well just build it. So
nice.
Yeah. I think it was like $235 or something like that, something close to that. And it was a ballistic advantage, 20-inch barrel and a BCG. So
cool.
Too good of a deal to pass up for me. And so now I got to build it.
So you guys are both building a lot of things lately. Is any of it because you're concerned about executive orders and things like that?
Not really.
No, it's
not that I'm not concerned about those things, but that's not the motivation to do what I'm doing.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say the Polymer 80 build that I did, the Strike 80, that was kind of a bunch of my coworkers and we figured it'd be nice to build those before they tried to ban those, and now Biden is looking to do that. So I don't know how he's gonna do it, but I don't know.
Well, I'm a little bit concerned. I've got two AR-15 80% lowers, and I am looking to hopefully within the next couple of weeks have those turned into finished lowers for that same reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should do it. Do it soon.
Yep.
But yeah, I have enough stuff that even if there were to be like a new assault weapons ban or something, I'd be okay. But not to say I wouldn't fight it with everything I could, you know.
Right.
With your Carcano.
With my Carcano. Yeah.
Cool. Well, should we jump into some news stories?
Yes.
All right. I have two news stories. One is just interesting, and the other one is awesome. So I'll skim through this first one that's interesting. It says, Sheriff's Office, this has happened in Portland, Oregon. A neighbor in the Maywood Park area saw a suspicious man with a gun. Turns out the man was a homeowner who accidentally stumbled upon three people suspected of stealing the catalytic converter off his car, which was parked in front of his home. And this is the owner speaking, the homeowner. He says, I've been having some problems with raccoons, and so I thought it was raccoons. I grabbed my 22 and went out to see what the noise was, and then I caught three people in the act of stealing my catalytic converter. One of them was under the car, and one was, I think, he was the lookout or something, and then there was a woman who was driving. Apparently the lookout needs a new job.
So, yeah, you got to watch out for those raccoons that steal catalytic converters.
Converters.
Those are bad.
Yeah. But
you know what's funny is I'm just looked up catalytic converter scrap value. Those things are expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of a while back, and maybe it's still happening, but people would go to new construction sites, and they would strip all the wire out of the building and sell the copper for scrap. I don't know if that's still happening or not, but apparently it sounds like they've moved on to catalytic converters.
Yeah, it does. I mean, so if you got like exotic cars and stuff, they're like more than $500 a pop. But
Wow.
even just piece of crap in my driveway, I mean, is 50, 75, almost $100.
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
So what's interesting about this story is the person who called the police was another neighbor who saw somebody walking around outside with a gun. I'm assuming it was like a Ruger 1022 or something like that. And so the police show up, detain him, and take his gun, and then arrest the other three, which the driver had heroin, meth, and oxycodone on her.
Oh, geez.
So, and one of the others had 2 warrants. So just some good solid citizens out there doing their thing.
Good old Portland. They probably let him free right after.
Probably.
And then they put the gun owner in jail.
Yeah. No, they said his gun was returned soon after it was taken from him.
And then they put him in jail?
No, no charges against him or anything.
All right, that's good to hear. Portland is such a screwed up place.
I feel bad for the cops that are up there. They're like hemorrhaging, big time cops are leaving.
Yeah, why would you want to stay there if you're a cop and you can't? You arrest people for crimes and you take all the abuse and they just release all the people that you arrest and don't file charges, against any of the people you arrest. I don't know. It's so backwards over there. It's messed up.
Yeah. Yep.
But the people there keep voting for those politicians. So I don't know.
You get what you ask for.
Yeah, you elect those kind of people, then that's what you get, man.
Yep. All right. This next one is really pretty cool. It's happened in San Diego about 9 p.m. on 43rd Street in Mount Hope. The resident said he saw 2 men outside his house when he returned home that night. The resident told officers that one man held him at gunpoint and ordered him to let him inside the home. The resident said he later disarmed the man as the intruders were going through his belongings. Police told news outlets. The man then attempted to charge at the resident, who opened fire, striking the intruder and prompting his accomplice to flee. The injured suspect, identified only as a 39-year-old man, was rushed to a nearby hospital where he died, authorities said. The other suspect, an Asian American man, is still on the run, according to police. Since when did Asians...
Dude, that was not me. That was not me.
The coolest thing about... Oh, I forgot the very beginning. The coolest thing about this story, the homeowner who disarmed the guy and then shot him, 62 years old.
Oh, geez.
Awesome.
Oh, man.
So I thought that was a pretty good story.
That is. I wonder how he disarmed him.
I don't know. It sounds like they were distracted, rummaging through his things, seeing what they were going to take. And
then we got to go back to the old days and aha.
Yeah.
Aha. Okay, so did the homeowner, he had his own gun or did he take the gun from the other guy?
It sounded like... Let me look.
He took the guy's high point
and shot him with it.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be, be the worst.
He used the bad guy's gun to kill him.
Oh,
wow.
So he took the guy's gun and then shot him with it.
Please be a high point.
Oh, man. There's a good chance it could have been.
Doesn't matter what it was. It did what it needed to.
Yes.
That's pretty crazy.
So it went from an evil implement to a salvation implement all in just like a 1 second.
Rescue equipment. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So
I don't think guns are inherently evil if they can flip so quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyway, that is the news. Let's jump into a topic. This will be a brief topic, but we want to talk a little bit about what you do for self-defense training, primarily with your handguns or a long gun. I guess it doesn't matter. And especially now when ammo is so tough to get a hold of and it's so expensive. What are you guys doing, or what have you done in the past to kind of stay polished on self-defense, I guess, techniques and whatnot? Anybody want to
All right.
start?
The disclaimer first.
Okay.
I have lots of ammo and I keep making lots of ammo.
Yeah.
So, but I can still talk about different things, you know.
Sure. Well, and the way you train is probably different from the way I train, which is different from the way Mark trains.
Yep.
And if I'm being honest, I don't shoot nearly as much as I should. And when I do, it's usually just out plinking and not really training or practicing. So for me, I really like to move and shoot. I don't like to sit still. And I don't like bench rest shooting is fine, but I get bored with it really fast. And if I can set up a stage, kind of like an IDPA type stage where I can move through a series of targets and do reloads and stuff like that. One of the things that I really took away from the Mag 40 class with Masada Ayub is not fully loading your magazines when you're training. We never loaded our magazines with more than 6 rounds in them. And what that did is you reloaded more frequently and transitioned and stuff like that. So you got more practice with that. You shot less ammo, but the rounds you were shooting were more effective, I guess, than just unloading a magazine type of thing. So that's when I go out to train, that's usually what I like to do. And we'll move targets around and set up different things. Okay, you're going to do 2 here and then 1 there and then 3 in that one. And another thing to be really careful about is running the same, like we always talk about the double tap, right? Or 2 to the chest and 1 to the head. If you do that, if that's every time you draw your gun and fire, you're setting yourself up for bad habits. We did a class with, was it Paul Carlson?
Yeah, and the Tactical Mennonite.
The Tactical Mennonite. And that was one of the things that he said, okay, when I give you the signal, you're going to draw and you're going to fire at the target. We're like, well, how many rounds? It's like, it doesn't matter. Whatever you feel, 1, 2, 3, 5. And just as long as you didn't do the same thing every time.
Right.
And so that kind of drilled into my head. Oh yeah. Are we training in bad habits?
Yes. Good point.
So what are the things that you do, Mark, that as far as if you go out purposely to practice skills like self-defense type stuff?
Well, it's an interesting time to answer that question. So right now I've been shooting a lot more revolvers lately. I've really enjoyed that. So I've been working on very basic fundamentals and not really as focused on rounds down range.
Right.
I've been trying to, draw smoothly, slow is smooth is fast, that kind of stuff. And then trying to get meaningful and good grip on the gun before clearing the holster, stuff like that. And I really, because I've been, and we won't go into great detail, but I've been kind of having some physical weakness. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the reasons why I've been focused on the revolver instead of the semi-autos.
Right.
So I find it really fascinating because it absolutely demands a back to the basics approach. So I've been working on the, step 0 of all of these different techniques. And I've found great value in that.
So yeah, you said you've been shooting your revolvers, and the ones that you have are double action revolvers. Have you been shooting it with the double action pull, or have you been doing single action, or a little bit of both?
Mostly with the double action pull.
I was going to say, if you get good with a double action revolver pull, it makes you shoot everything better.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Taco. I really do. You've got a long, smooth, deliberate pull that you need to make without losing your sight picture and keep it on the target during that whole thing. So good point. I also have a couple of, I'm not sure if you guys have been in my garage, but I've got targets set up above my garage door. So when I'm out making mag holders, I shoot BB guns up at targets that are above the garage door. So nice. I do that and I shoot and move while things are curing in the oven and stuff like that. So it's like totally ridiculous. But
do you have a holster for your BB gun?
I do.
Okay.
It's a commander size
1911.
It's a commander size 1911, and nice. I'm shooting and moving, shooting from the holster, zooming around the garage, scaring the crap out of the cat. So, but nice. I do like the ability to manipulate the gun, put it in the holster, remove it smoothly, get in a firing grip and on target while moving, which is something that you mentioned, Jason.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think people place enough value on being able to move and shoot effectively. It's very different. If all you're shooting is at a static range where you're sitting behind a barrier and just throwing rounds down range, you're going to you'll be able to shoot well. You'll be able to get a good trigger pull and stuff like that. But as soon as you introduce any movement, it totally changes everything.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about, shooting while moving. What I'm talking about is moving while getting on target.
Yeah.
I am in a solid firing stance when the trigger is pulled, but everything else is movement.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm not suggesting that we get good at running down the street pulling the trigger.
Right.
That's different. But being able to move and, like you said, get in a position where you can get on target and then fire in a quick manner, that's what we should be doing. That's more what the type of situation we may have to deal with.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, so there's my 1911 BB gun. What do you guys think about air guns and maybe even airsoft for real life, gun practice? Is it useful or is it not?
I think personally, there's a lot of value in force-on-force training with an airsoft gun. An airsoft gun, there are good ones out there that function basically just like a regular semi-automatic firearm. Obviously, you don't have the recoil that you do from a regular firearm.
But there's ones that the slide cycles and everything, right?
Right. And I have one of those. I have a SIG 226 that the controls, everything scale, it's all exactly the same. Even though the slide moves, it still doesn't have any recoil.
Yeah, the recoil is very low. I mean, it's like shooting a gun,
But here's the advantage that you have with that type of training is if you're in a situation, if you're in a training situation where somebody's shooting at you with one of those and you're trying to engage them at the same time, they don't feel good when you get hit. I mean, unless you're wearing a lot of bulky clothes. If you're wearing a t-shirt and shorts and somebody's shooting at you with an airsoft gun, you're going to feel it when it hits you. And so you're going to naturally have that, I got to get out of the way. I don't want to get hit with that while you're trying to engage and hit your target at the same time.
So you're going to be aware of incoming.
Yeah.
Which is something we're never aware of when we're just sitting in a square range, right?
Right. Even if you're shooting IDPA matches and stuff like that, that's an element that isn't ever there, is somebody shooting back at you type of thing. And I know John Hoddaway out in Arkansas, he does a lot of classes, and he actually does classes with school teachers that he trains, and they use airsoft guns quite a lot for force-on-force training and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of value in that. I think it has to be done right, but
I think we'll also have an advantage on Taco because you and I working with plastic can ramp up our casting of airsoft ammo a lot, kind of like Taco has.
Maybe you can. I'm not going to whittle out any Kydex BBs.
Yeah. Another thing, I don't know if we touched on it yet, but dry fire practice.
For sure.
That's the one thing you can do in your house without any ammo.
Yeah.
Well, you need to do it without any ammo.
Please.
But yeah. And I have a lot of different handguns and stuff, but the ones that are kind of easy to practice with are like the double single action guns, like the Beretta, the CZ, and you can just sit there doing that double action pull every time. And like similarly to the revolvers, I feel like when I spend a lot of time on those double action pulls, then it makes like the striker fires, I'm able to shoot those better.
Yeah.
So
Sure. Another thing that I've used with mixed success, I should say, are the laser trainers. So I have from Laser Light a 9 millimeter, basically laser cartridge that you slide into the barrel of your gun, and it has a little pad on the back. So when the firing pin hits it, it shoots the laser out of the barrel, and it has two little reactive targets. And you have two modes. One mode, anytime you hit the target, it'll flash, or you can set it to where it periodically comes on for a couple of seconds, and you have to hit it while it's on before it goes off.
So I remember your kind of original shop behind your house.
Yeah.
You had one of those back then. Is this what you're still using?
It's the same one.
Yeah,
and back then I would put just I would print off little targets and have them kind of like you do with your BB gun.
Yeah.
Just paper targets and use the laser thing also, because the targets were a little bit bigger.
So holster makers and mag holder makers are always, while something's curing, while something's heating, whatever, we're out there just blasting away.
Yeah. The only problem I have with that laser trainer is it takes 3 like super tiny little watch batteries in it. They don't last very long, and I can't get it to work in my 226. Just on double action, single action, just like you were saying, Taco. That's the gun I wanted to really use that with the most. On a striker fire, you have to rack the slide every time.
Yeah.
And that kind of trains in bad habits. That's just what I need to get in a self-defense shooting.
And just pull the trigger once,
or rack the slide and eject a live round and shoot it and eject a live round. But
that's hilarious.
But there's a lot of really good laser.
That's why you need a high capacity magazine.
Yeah. But there's a lot of good laser trainers out there, and there's some that you can. Yeah, my father-in-law has one that works with his phone, and the phone registers where the hits are on the target or something. I played with it once when I was down there, but there's a lot of cool stuff like that. But I think from all the stuff that we've talked about, I think the most value that people are going to get right now out of training is dry fire practice. People don't pay enough attention to how effective that really is.
I was going to say also do a mix of all these different things.
Yeah.
Because none of them will simulate everything the best, one method. So there's another thing you can do is you go out with a buddy and have them load your magazines and just put one round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4, something like that. And then you start with it holstered, and then you draw, and then you fire till that one is empty, and then you drop it and then do a reload, and then
I like doing that same type of thing, but using dummy rounds. And so they'll put a dummy round in. If you get one dummy round, you do the tap rack and then bang. If you get 2 in a row, then you have to assume you have a major malfunction, and you strip the magazine, put a fresh one in, rack the slide, and keep going.
It's interesting to try to think and solve problems while you're shooting.
Yeah.
Back to the Paul Carlson course, he had us doing addition and subtraction math problems. So he would give you
that's
3 plus 8.
Yeah,
I know it was.
And then you have to shoot the target that's got the number on it with the answer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
But it does multitask you, and it gets you. I don't know what it did. It was just frustrating.
I hate that. So I brought Daniel Shaw out a few years ago for a 2-day carbine course.
Yeah.
He did the same thing. And I am, the host of the class with all these people. And first of all, I can't do math. And then under pressure, he's giving me these math problems, and I'm like, and I just got to the point where I just started shooting whatever. And he was laughing hysterically. I'm like, dude, I can't. And here's the thing.
It's impossible.
Here's the thing. When somebody's yelling math problems to you and you have to figure them out and engage a target with that number on it quickly and efficiently, it's not the same as making decisions in a self-defense or tactical situation.
How do you know?
Man, if I gotta shoot the bad guy that is 28 minus 40, I'm just gonna shoot them all. But
It's negative 12, by the way.
I get it. I get it. It's teaching you to think on your feet. But yeah, like you were saying, Taco, there isn't any one exercise that we can do that's going to effectively simulate whatever situation we may find ourselves in. But there's a lot that we can do to give us the upper hand.
Yeah, one of the things my friend and I were doing, we've done this a couple times, but it's, shooting a 500 mag or heavy recoiling firearms. It's really easy to develop a flinch.
Yeah.
And so we had our buddy, we would load each other 500 mags and load the cylinders with dummy rounds, a mix of dummy rounds and real rounds. And man, it's an
embarrassing.
Experience. It is embarrassing too. You get one of the dummy rounds and you have that big flinch. But anyways, it could be fun, all this practice,
sure.
It could be fun. So.
For sure. It should be fun. If you're being too serious with all this stuff, I think taking the wrong approach entirely. It's gotta be fun, and you gotta love doing it, or what's the point? Well, I think we've covered that well enough. Any listeners?
I enjoyed talking about it.
Yeah, well, and I'd like to hear what other people are doing.
Yep.
There's a lot of good training things out there that don't necessarily have to cost you money, with ammo and stuff like that.
Well, and there's probably training ideas that, are not obvious. I mean, what do bow hunters do to practice if they're not, putting arrows down range? Maybe there's stuff that they do that would be useful for us. Yeah. I would love to hear.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's it for today. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about us so we can get more than 6 people listening at a time.
Take somebody shooting.
Be nice to people. Be safe.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
See ya.